All right. Moonbrat, can you hear me? It is me, NBT Sky. I gotta do this twice because I don't know who did me. Whether it was me, the mouse, or me. But anyway, let me know if you can hear me so I don't end up doing this again to myself. I feel like you can hear me. Alright. So we have to do the numerology report over. Alright, nice. Good. Y'all hear me. Alright, so let me grab the notes and let's do this from scratch. You know, I would feel some type of way, but I don't feel like it. So anyway, the Young Thug trial. Mr. Jeffrey Lamar Williams, birthday 8/16/1991, and his sign is a Leo. His ruling planet is Mars, which is fire. And I don't know if this is correct or not, so y'all can correct me later if it isn't. But it says that his trial or the court date started 5/9/2022. Put you in Taurus and water energy, put you in fire energy, fire energy. His ruling planet is fire. So let's look at his name, his actual name. First name, middle name, last name. First name breaks down 39, 12, and 3, which puts you in Jupiter, which is fire. The middle name breaks down to 18 and 9, which puts you in Pluto, which is water. The last name breaks down into 35 and 8, which brings you back into Mars, which matches his ruling planet, which is Mars. Now, again, y'all couldn't hear me the first time, but high and low. This is my own thing. It's not, let's say, traditional. So his high number comes to 11 and 2, the higher frequency of the moon, spiritual connections, psychic connections, connections to, that intuitive energy. The low number comes down as 2, which is the moon energy. So that's just verifying this. You're gonna see a pattern that I didn't see when I started, when I wrote it out. But we're gonna look further. So then we got the rap name, which is Young Thug. That breaks down into 28, breaks down to 10, breaks down to 1. That's Sun. That's the Leo. Then you have the last part of the name, which breaks down to 20 and 2. The high and low numbers bring you into 3. So that's both Jupiter, double fire energy. And of course, when you're dealing with rapping, you're dealing with creativity. You're dealing with music. You're dealing with high energy and so on and so forth. So let's move right along to the birthday. The birthday is 8/16/1991. So the high number breaks down into 8, which is Mars. And the low number breaks down into Venus, which lands in like air and earth energy. So when you break down a birthday a little bit further, you got the month, which matches Mars, Mars, Mars. So far, we got Mars up there. That's his ruling planet. So he's still in his energy. Then you have the day, which breaks down into 16 and 7. That's Uranus and Neptune, which you got to see a pattern over here with. And that's air and water energy. Who else you got? The day and the month breaks down to 6, which brings you into Venus, which is going to bring you into air and earth energy, which is going to match right over here with the lawyer guy, the Brian Steele guy, his low number over there. So then I was looking at the court date. Mind you, in tarot, he is strength. His card is represented by strength in tarot. Now, when you're looking at the court date, you got 5/9/2022. The high number is 11 and 2. The low number is 2. I already explained this to you right here. And so you're going to see it again. It's showing a pattern here. And it's going to keep going. So let's go into what was going on. So I was looking at the overall energy and the name of the state where the trial is being held, which is Atlanta, Georgia. So that Atlanta breaks down 21-3. That's Jupiter fire energy. The last name breaks down to 44 and 8. 44 is a bastard number, but I don't really deal with the rest of the bastard numbers. I deal with 11, 22, and 33. That's just my own preference. So therefore, we're back in Mars energy. So here we got Mars, 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 Mars. So far, we got a lot of this Mars energy playing into effect, right? And even this breaks down to, both of these break down to 11 and 2 in a higher frequency. So that's letting you know that, Atlanta, Georgia's, there's a lot of spiritual energy over there in Georgia. Anyway, moving right along. The court where the trial is being held, Fulton County Court. So Fulton breaks down to 25 and 7, which brings you back to Uranus and Neptune, which is air and water energy, right? Then you have county, which breaks down into 8, 26 and 8, which brings you back into Mars again. And then you have the name court, which breaks down to 23 and 5, right? And that's what Mercury, which is air energy, if I'm air. So, and this even breaks down to 11 and 2, with the high number, and the low number comes down into the moon energy. So therefore, if you're looking at this overall with this 11 and 2, 11 and 2, 11 and 2, 11 and 2, then you're dealing with, in tarot, that would be the moon, major arcana. So you're dealing with secrets, things that's unclear, emotions, tapping in spiritually, or having the ability to tap into spiritually, or having spiritual energy moving around the whole entire situation. And then you bring it into the Jupiter situation, which, by the way, I decided that I was going to look and see what planets was lining up around Atlanta today, this AM anyway. So Uranus and Neptune popped up again, and Uranus and Neptune popped up with its luminosity, or its brightness, at 100 at 9:53, and Uranus at 9:53, and Neptune at 7:29, and Jupiter popped up with luminosity or brightness at 99% at 9:32 a.m. Mind you, this is the 7. So the 7 pops up here, Uranus and Neptune. You have Uranus and Neptune in the lawyer. So the lawyer, I could not find his birthday. So I'm just using his name. The first name breaks down to 26 and then 8. So we got Mars again. And then still breaks down into 16 and 7, which is Uranus and Neptune for the court and for the lawyer, right? Am I missing Uranus and Neptune anywhere else? Yep, because it's 2 times. All right. So the high number breaks down into 6, and that's what is that? Venus, air, earth energy, double air, earth energy. Now, when you think about this, if you was to add this up, you're gonna get 12. You're gonna get 3, and you're in the air, earth energy. So you're thinking about the 3 of Swords energy. If you're looking at tarot and air in general, you're looking at 3 of Swords, 3 of Coins type energy, right? So anyway, in the whole entire spiel, the whole reading here, we have, I counted air, and air, the element air came up 11 times, and I'm looking at this in tarot. So first off, 11 times is letting you know that it's still in a higher frequency, period. And it's still unknown energy behind it, still hidden things, right? And then I break it down into 2. So I'm going to look at it at the 2 of Swords. Things that are not being addressed, things are not being seen, something that nobody wants to speak about or that nobody is telling, period. Fire, which is his dominant energy, 11 and 2. So 11 and 2 is in a higher frequency, and that's only right, I would say, because you're dealing with creative people, you're dealing with actions, you're dealing with movements. You know, you're dealing with Leo energy, right? So in astrology, you're dealing with the sun when you're dealing with Leo. So what's that? Pioneers, beginning, individuality, and leadership. And in order to get over here, he had to come from over here, go over there, and so on and so forth. So meanwhile, back at the ranch, we got this higher frequency in fire. You got the higher frequency in air. And there's only a couple of things that's going to happen between air and fire. Either air is going to blow hard enough to put fire out, or fire is going to just be able to, spread. Air can spread fire, or it can put fire out. So therefore, we got these two higher frequencies in these two elements right here. So anyway, you go into water, and it breaks down to 12. And so in tarot, we look at that generally 3 of Cups, celebration, getting together, friends, partying, so on and so forth, which is a part of the lifestyle. You have Earth right here, which in tarot, it comes up 3 times overall, but in tarot, the 3 of Coins is a discussion of helping and assistance, participation. In total, you got 37, which breaks down to 10 and 1, which brings down into the sun. And the sun is also his major element for his sign. The sun is not a bad thing, but the sun has dualities to it. So again, the sun either sheds light on things. It also talks about happiness, comfortability, and all that other good stuff. But if the sun shines too bright, it's also blinding. And the celebrity life can be blinding at times. It can be blinding for the person that is a celebrity, but it also can be blinding for the individuals that's around the individual. So moving right along. So looking at all of the planets, right? The sun comes up 2 times. So therefore, it definitely is a requirement of balance, but it also can be talking about partnerships, because when you're dealing with it too, it also talks about partnerships, friendships, relationships, unions, things like that. So in here, it might be, something that has to be looked at. Now, the moon is dominant in the planets when you count it up. So you have this moon energy, and it comes in the 9, so it's the 9 of water. So you're thinking about in tarot, that would be like the 9 of Cups. And when you're in the 9s, it's still considered a complete cycle of happiness. And this might have been the energy that, generally he's in. Now you come into Jupiter, and Jupiter comes up like 4 times. Meanwhile, Jupiter is a fire sign. So when you're thinking about fire, you're thinking about the 4 wands. But most importantly, that's communication, creativity, expression, and growth, which requires firm foundations and partnerships and unions that are stable. The interesting thing is that Saturn didn't come up at all. Saturn speaks of process of stabilization, and in order, regardless of what process of stabilization would have to take place within the trial or the court case anyway. And that might be part of the reason why it's being stagnated anyway. The process of going to court, the process of finding evidence, the process of having evidence, the process, blah, 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 and then trying to stabilize all of that information to get what's right and what's wrong, right? All right, so therefore we got Mercury, which I found to be interesting because it's in the 5s, right? So anyway, you got Mercury, flexibly change, freedom, and sensation. Obviously, if he's in the midst of a trial, and Mercury is air, and the trial is in reference to some type of violent act that took place, here we have Mercury in the air. If we're looking at the element, you're looking at the 5 of Swords, you're looking at battle, you're looking at fights, you're looking at stabbings, you're looking at shootings. You're looking at blah, 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 violence, period. That's just, you know, what it is in the Five of Swords. Now, don't get it twisted. I'm not saying that the Five of Swords represents Mercury. I'm not saying that Jupiter is the Four of Wands. I'm translating over into from numerology to astrology to tarot to get an overall look, and then we're gonna do the bone throw. But anywho, then we got Venus, and you dealing with, you know, Earth energy, and that still brings you back into like the Three of Coins kind of thing. So, you know, we're gonna look into that in the bones. I'm just not gonna, you know. Anyway, so we got Uranus and Neptune, and Uranus and Neptune comes up 3 times. And Uranus and Neptune is air and water. So you would have to look at Three of Swords if you was looking at the element only, and you're looking at tarot, you're looking at Three of Swords, and you're looking at the Three of Cups. So, like, I didn't even think about this while I was actually going through this. But if you're looking at Uranus and Neptune outside of over here, you're looking at Uranus and Neptune. And if you want to look at this as a people thing, you know, you got 3 swords, 3 coins. Coins can represent money. This isn't tarot. I'm doing this without throwing out tarot, so then y'all gonna have to give me a pass, right? It can represent 3. It can represent, coins can represent individuals. It can represent materials. It can represent earth. It can represent houses. It can represent cars. Anything in the material realm, it can represent. And then when you coming down with the Three of Swords, you're dealing with heartache, disappointment, sadness. So I don't know how many people was involved in this situation, and don't even get me started lying because I just don't know. I don't know. I don't have the answer. But that's kind of interesting. And so anyway, when you're dealing with Uranus and Neptune, you're dealing with the seeker or the mystic, rest, deep truth, the mysteries. Now, also when you're dealing with, you know, the mysteries, you're dealing with the High Priestess, which is also a moon water energy, but you're also dealing with the Four Swords kind of energy. The High Priestess in tarot holds the mysteries. So you kind of dealing with that kind of energy too. Not saying that that's who she is. I'm just letting you know that this is how I translate. So anyway, moving right along to the Mars. You're dealing with warrior success, power, and achievement, which is his ruling planet. So his energies will always be like that for the most part. But when you throw all of this together, you got 36 and 9, which still brings you back to Pluto. Pluto comes up 2 times. Pluto's discussion of transformation, selflessness, compassion, and endings. So this is either, you know, the ending of a situation, an ending of a way of thinking, an ending of a way of being, an ending of being around individuals. Something is coming to an end in this particular situation. And so it's proven when the 9 comes out, which in numerology comes up into Pluto, and then that comes up 2 times, so that lets you know it has to be balanced out and looked into, regardless of the fact. I think Pluto is a water energy, so this is probably the ending of a friendship, a partnership that, you know, had an issue. That's what I'm looking at right now. That's what it's feeling like. That's what it's looking like. That's what it is looking like. But we're gonna look at the bones again. Now, again, I did this video live and it was mute. I have to throw the bones again. I'm not going to say that the bones are going to come down exactly the same way on the mat, exactly the same way, but the bones should damn sure tell damn near close to the same story. So anyway, that's what we're about to do right now. So I'm about to switch it over so that you can look at the bone throw, and so we can be done with it. And of course, that's gonna happen because I want want you to see the bone throw, right? Hold on, y'all. I'm switching y'all over. Tell me they not mad. Tell me they not mad. Tell me they not mad. You know what? Let me do it this way. All right. Hold on, y'all. Because it's too close. They say if I can't get you with the volume, I'm going to get you. 2 seconds. All right, let me do it this way. This is how much they love me. All right, you know what? I'm not going to get on my own nerves. Let's do it. 2 seconds. They know I have to move from one space to the next. But now you can see close, so it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. All right, where y'all at? Let's see. Can y'all see the whole entire board? I think you can. Let me move it over. Where am I going? All right, y'all can see the whole board. That's the whole point. All right, so anyway, let's look at the gist of it all. Let's see what they talking about. Meanwhile, let's not get it twisted. Let me tell y'all, I missed one point. Right? When you're looking at court, you're looking at the major arcana, the Hierophant. And when it's looking at, when is this thing going to be resolved? The Hierophant brings this, and the Magician, all of the majors, the Hierophant, the Magician, and the Tower, they all kind of state the same thing, which is, you know, in the wheel. Jupiter brings the wheel, which is letting you know the time is not indicated, but it comes with good luck. You have Mars, which brings the Tower. The time is unexpected, but it comes with force. And then you have Mercury, which is the Magician, which comes in the air, and it's letting you know that no time is indicated, but the energy still moves quickly according to the flow. So right now, that's what I want to look into. And I'm going to tell you up front, when I was throwing the first time and it was on mute, the bones was not showing me why the time, like what was actually causing the little glitch in the matrix outside of what I said, which is the process of stabilization and just going through the whole court process and getting all things. But I'm going to look one more time. And I'm only throwing once this time. Out of all fairness. Let me see. I'm not keep on the bones up. Alright, let's see what happens. And yeah, I did my Medusa already, and I already smoked my bones out. The rules are still the same. Let's see. Oh, alright. Alright, so the bone is down. Alright, so again, no matter how you cut the cake, you still got the coffin pin that lands in the air. That's that Gemini, Libra, Aquarius type of energy. That's air, right? And so we know that's concerning that. So we don't have to discuss that. That already came down. You still got this female that's facing in another direction, but she's landing in what? Libra, Empress, and Justice energy. So I'm not sure of who's involved in a situation. I don't know if there's a female involved or not, But anyway, we looking for the hiccups, right? We just gonna look and see what's the clutter now. On the eye, everything is everywhere. So therefore, it's confusion, probably with evidence, information, who's involved, who's not involved, who did what, who said what, how it happened, and what time. There's a lot of confusion involved. And therefore, right here in fire, which is what? Aries, Sagittarius, Leo. And I'm not gonna dive into it because the first time I threw the bones didn't really want to tell or speak on it. So I'm not. So if I see something that I shouldn't, that I feel like it's not comfortable for me to say it, and I'm not gonna say it. That's just that. Y'all know how this go. All right. So first off, you got there's ancestral energy that's not right now, and that's landing over here in Strength and Leo, and that's the eighth key, right? So we got, and that's interesting. I don't know exactly see, this is because I don't watch enough what's going on out here in the world. But anyway, right now ancestors is on pause, not against, but on pause. Period. Now, there's lack. There's this position of how did I get into this situation? This right here gonna tell you where the hiccup is with the situation. But outside of that is how did I get into this situation? I had everything right here. It was right there. And now it's like, whew, it's gone. It's a dream. I can't touch it. That's the feeling, the emotion. And so now it's like he's got to go through his mind and think about all his actions, thoughts, interactions with people. What made me do that? So he's in a reflection moment based upon his actions, which also brings the Emperor, which also brings the Tower, which is a part of his ruling element anyway. Outside of that, we got money and emotions. So this is letting me know, because it's right in between it, that a lot of this going on is based off of money and emotions, finances and emotions, period. People getting in their emotions about money or about material things, or, about what other people may seem or feel is material. Who is this? I see a wedding band on a Gemini energy, so there's this twin flame energy that he kind of gonna feel neglected from. Like, I'm not dealing with you. But, according to what I saw the last time I threw the bones when it was on mute, he think about it a lot. A hell of a lot. Anyway, and got a hell of a lot of regrets, regardless of the fact. That's just what it said on the last throw. I should have just left it up anyway. But anyway, moving right along. So this is in between the Aries, Sagittarius, Leo, and Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces type energy. So now we get over here and we see this bone would represent him. And right, and then we have the other bone underneath all three of those, which is that represents the fire signs, or the fire energy, which is fast motion, fast moving, fast pace. It also represents creativity, art. It also represents, business, entrepreneurship, so on and so forth. He is a Leo. He is in Mars. He is in fire. And, this masculine, where he's looking at this like games is being played, and the loss was small compared to the consequence. So if there was some type of money involved, or whatever was the issue, it was small compared to what the outcome ended up being. And he still feel like games is being played with him. That's just how he feeling. In the physical, you see the beer top, which is talking about, the overindulgence, the partying, the chilling, the drinking, and smoking, and doing whatever people do in the physical reality. We all know that. That's just a part of that particular lifestyle, right? Now to why there's a hiccup. I'm not even about to say and hold y'all either. It took me a smooth 3 days to do this damn reading. I'm not even gonna say a lot of y'all. 3 whole entire long days to do this. That's how aggravating this reading was. But anyway, for the numerology anyway, not for this. So anyway, this still comes down the same. It's still a discussion of the energy surrounding this situation is whoever's involved and whoever is not involved or could possibly shut the fuck up. You better not say nothing. Nobody sober. I have no idea what you're talking about, Holmes. I do not know you. I don't know you. I've never seen you before. I don't know where you came from. I don't know how you got here. I don't know nothing about you. Period. Now, it's saying that the secret's bone is down. So there's still, part of this problem, the stagnation is trying to uncover what took place. That uncovering is going to create a lot of shaking emotions. You got this dark energy that comes in the Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo, and then you have this ancestral energy, and then you have people that don't want to have nothing to do with it, or people that's got anybody that was around that was supposed to be real. They getting ready to scatter. They about to boogie. A lot of people gonna cut ties. He's gonna end up having to cut ties. He's in a position where he has to cut ties, regardless of the fact. But there's people that's cutting ties that don't want nothing to do with it. They literally just don't even. Everybody gone, and this is, affecting a lot of the energy. There's people missing, places missing, the information missing. That's just it. Regular court people stuff. Regular court people stuff. Outside of that, right. Hold on. Right. Outside of that, he got other things that he has to protect. That's more important than himself. And so, the situation may, to a degree, take advantage of that. Now, the magnifying glass, I can't see. Hold on, y'all. We got the journey bone. That's not happening right now, but, there's people that probably wish they would have moved right along. Doors seem to be or feel shut to women's emotions in his moon energy, and moon dominates the reading anyway, right? Now, let me see where you at. And this magnifying glass lands on the moon. And who else? Oh, great. So, listen. He in every level of his emotions that you could put a man in right about now. And it's not funny, but he's in every level of emotions that you can put a man in. Now, the glitch is the confusion in the case, period. That's what's going to be time consuming. That's why he's sitting here. That's why the time is not indicated. This is why nobody knows what's going on. That's why don't nobody know when he getting out, how he going to get out, or when he going to get out, or who going to do what. That's why, because it's still all boggled up, period. Outside of that. Right now, though, he got A1 Day 1 over here, and she still landed in. Now, last time she landed in the fire, so she's like light skin, probably brown skin, light skin, light brown, something like that. She still landed in that area. They in opposite directions right now, and it's probably based off of you got into this particular position, and you tried to play with me, and now I'm gonna ignore you. Scales a little bit mixy right now. Not saying that she not saying that she don't care, and not saying that she don't think about it. But now he's in a position where he got to stand still. So now he got to think about who's the A1 Day 1s, who's real, who's not, who really gonna hold me down, who really are who they say they are. And this is what he gonna figure out. And this is why I said this is when you bring the Hierophant, it validates that this is not only physical, it's emotional, it's spiritual, and it's a part of a journey. Now, either he's gonna have to change some aspect of the way he think, or how he associate, or how he feel. something is gonna, regardless of how this ends out, he's still gonna change in some type of shape, form, or fashion. Not saying it's a bad way, but you know, that depends on how he decides to process it, or anybody else on the planet decides to process it. That's just how I go. But anyway, right now the reason why this unknown is because nothing is clear. Nothing is clear on no level. If they was to look at, you know, nothing is clear. And that's just that. There's no other way to put it right about now. Let me see. What's this? In the Magician. It's funny because the Magician holds a wand. And, you know, real wands is supposed to be made of Hollywood. This is not that. But this is wood. And so, you know, there's some... there's this ability, or this, in order to get this situation to situate properly, you would say that one would have to be able to divvy up all of their resources to a degree to get it to work. To literally get it to work. That means, like, he would have to really sit there and ponder on who's real, who's not, who's trustworthy, who's not. All the way down to the whole situation. You gotta look at the whole situation, and then, you know, try to get together. But the magician came up anyway in the air and in Mercury, and Mercury came up in a numerology reading. So that just lets you know that energy is definitely required, where you're gonna have to be able to gather or put together all your resources. And that's what it's gonna take, and that's where this feeling of they gonna peel them pockets for this situation. Them pockets is peeling. It's just that simple. But anyway, this is me. It's NBT Sky. It's another wonderful bone throw, and I will see y'all on the next. And anybody else on here, because I don't even know on here right now. You know, I've been gone for a minute, but I'm back on a jump off. Goons in the club, K-time jump off. Alright, I'm leaving y'all. Y'all leave a comment, ask y'all questions. I'll pop back up and answer them probably. No, I am. Y'all know I am. Very welcome, Moonbright. Deuces. Talk to y'all later. Smooches. It is me.